basically how I went about it was, I talked dirty to her. I started having, playing little fantasies in her mind, because she was very suggestible. So I'd play these little fantasies, imagine a woman going down on you, or going down on, this beautiful woman, or you find someone she's really like thinks is pretty, have her imagine it's that person. But one of the things that I did, I told her I was interested in this kind of stuff, and I gave her a few URLs, or FAQ pages, for the swinging lifestyle and the rules and how that works and stuff like that. Because a lot of people have a very a misconception that swingers clubs are just these sleazy, nasty, trailer trash people, and there are a few out there. But by and large, the large majority of the people in the swinging lifestyle are professionals. They're usually upper middle class, and just generally nice people who like to indulge in fantasy. The swinging lifestyle is all about fantasies. People, because of our culture, because of the jobs that we have and the lifestyles that we have to be respectable and all these roles that we have to fill, there's a huge part of our lives, our sexual natures, that we have to repress. We have to, just stuff it down. And most people are walking around just locked up inside. But there's a small segment that David Shade likes to call sexually enlightened people. These are the people who have the strength to realize that there is a difference. They can separate love and emotion from the sex. Some of my friends in this swing community call it sport fucking, which is kind of funny. But this is where swinging will actually test the strength of your inner game and the strength of your relationship. But to get into it, the first thing I did was I got her at least curious. Now, that's how you get a woman curious is really going to depend a lot on the woman. It's kind of an individual thing. I told her it was something I was always really, really curious about, and if she, and there are rules and things like that. Women like that, and it's all safe. But you get to play and you get to indulge, and you can, pretend to be somebody else, and all these other little things that go on at these swingers clubs. And so what I did was I gave the girl I was with a bunch of URLs of frequently asked questions, where you can go in and just read these web pages of the most common questions people have about swinging, about how it's involved, what the rules are. The other thing you have to do is if you're going to get involved in the swinging lifestyle and you decide you want to go and play and you want to try things out, you have to determine with your woman what your rules are first before you set foot in a swingers club. Okay, there's different ways to enter the swinging lifestyle. You can join these newsletters that come out periodically. There's a lot of websites. There's on-premise clubs. There's off-premise clubs, and there's house parties. They're all different venues where you can try. I recommend for people just starting out in that particular venue to go to some of these off-premise clubs first, or the on-premise clubs. Basically because usually they have an interview process. A lot of the clubs that I used to go to, you actually had to be interviewed by the club owners before they'd let you in, because it's a very privacy-oriented type of
quality control, and they didn't want a bunch of single guys showing up.
Most of them won't let single guys in, or if they do, they charge such an exorbitant price to get in that most people don't even try. They'll let single women in a heartbeat, because most of the couples there, the female's bi. She's looking to munch clam just as much as you are. A lot of times I was the one waiting in line after my girlfriend got done with the couple we were with, or with the girl we were playing with, or whatever. But a lot of couples will actually bring a third person who's curious, and that's when things will get real interesting. But you walk into places like that, and the first thing you see are usually these stripper poles with these housewives or these school teachers or these nurses, who've always dreamed about being that sexually exotic, alluring, enticing, seductively powerful woman that they, you read about, without all the nasty, dysfunctional stuff that goes with it. They want that fantasy. They want that eroticism. And they're up there dancing swinging on the poles, and the guys are sitting there, their tongues hanging out. The girls are sitting there with their tongues hanging out, And you have rooms with the little toys in it, the whips, the chains, the swings, depending on the kind of clubs you go to. Honestly, and a lot of times when you go to these, you know how hard it is to hook up with, a woman in a club. Well, imagine trying to hook up with a couple, because now you got twice as many people that gotta like you. So a lot of times the thing you gotta do is you gotta go in and you gotta be dominant. You gotta actually introduce yourself, which of course sets the frame. Learning how to work groups, a la mystery method, that kind of thing is really useful in swing.
Yeah, mystery group theory is excellent.
I've actually used it in swing clubs back when I was actually going out and doing a lot of that. I haven't had the time lately, or the energy. But yeah, group theory works really well in swing clubs. But it will test the strength of your relationship. The first time you see a woman or see a guy with his tongue down your girlfriend's throat or your wife's throat really tests, what you find exciting.
I know personally I could never do this because I just get way too jealous. Yeah. Call it insecure, call it what have you, but that's not for me because I'm such an attention whore to begin with. I want her.
I had one experience where we had this one circle of friends that we had gotten to know pretty well, and they had some friends that we didn't know. We had just met them that night. And I took this gentleman's wife out on the dance floor, and it was getting pretty suggestive. So I made her come right there on the dance floor. I just did my finger magic and She literally just, her knees buckled and she just...
You fingered this guy's wife on the dance floor.
Yeah, and...
Now, this was in a swing club?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't quite clear on that.
And she got that look in her eye, and she laid a kiss on me in front of him, and I thought the guy was just going to go berserk. And they spent the rest of the night arguing and fighting, one trying to leave, the other trying to stay, then the other would try to leave, and the other would try to stay. Because they got face to face with the reality that, yeah, your wife could hook up with someone, or your husband could hook up with someone. And when it happens, and especially when a guy, gives your wife an orgasm.
Or if they get you, or they blow the wife's mind.
Well, that's pretty much what happened. So I didn't get to close that deal that night, but I did get her off. But it was a good thing that you found that out then and there, because swinging it'll either make your relationship stronger or it will totally destroy it. And the reason I say that is because as David Shea calls them, sexually enlightened people, and even Suzanne, when we talked about it, she'll share David's cock but not his heart. That's what it's about. Okay, it's understanding how to separate the emotion from the act. Now, I'm not saying there's no emotion involved. There's arousal and eroticism and all that good stuff. But when it comes down to brass tacks, you're with this person, and whoever you play with, you go home with the person you came with, or you sleep with the person you came with. That was the rules I lived by, and I still live by them. And everybody's rules are different. It's only cheating if you're breaking the rules. And as long as you're willing to live by the rules that you set with your partner, swinging is a great way to, if you'll pardon the expression, have your cake and eat it too, because you get all the perks of being in a loving, caring, healthy relationship, and all the variety any man or woman could want sexually, which is the thing most people crave. And I'll get all kinds of flack for saying that from the straight-laced people out there. But the truth is, we all want some variety in our life, because you may have a favorite food, but eating it every single fucking day gets old. When you do the technique, what's funny is when you do the techniques that I talk about in the book, and some that I've talked about here, the most common statement I get from these women is, "I can't believe it. It just keeps getting better." This is a year, 2 years later. It's just getting better. And it's because they become more and more responsive to you. And you learned about, you play with new things, and you build on what you've already got. And it does just keep getting better and better. Because you're making love not just to her body, but to her whole fucking mind, which David talks about. You see me talk, I quote a lot of these people because, I learn from them, they learn from me. And I think that's the way to go about things. No one person has all the answers. I still learn new things. And people learn things from me all the time. And it should be that way. I'll share one that I learned from you, which is the whole sniffing thing. I'm going to give you credit for that. Because prior to you talking about that, I had never heard of the whole sniffing thing. So, well, let's test this. Let's go see.
Women love to be smelled.
They do. Oh my God. Oh my God. She just left a puddle in her pants. It was unreal. Women, yeah, literally. You don't have to.
And not smelled between their legs. I mean, it's just like you smell them on their neck,
around
their
ears, behind their neck, behind on the nape of the neck, and it's just little. And you can play with the, how long you do it, and they just respond like gangbusters. Just
I like the long, like you're doing a line of cocaine or something like that. Yeah.
I'd wind up with a hair up my nose or something. But yeah, that I'll give full props to you for sharing that one with me, because I hadn't had, I didn't.
Yeah, it's all about an exchange of information, and some people get pissed at me because I charge for this stuff. But this stuff's so good that if everyone started doing it, it would lose its effectiveness.
Absolutely. And a lot of it is because one of the things that makes this so special is there's not many people who can do it. And the simple truth is, even after the majority of people buy my book and read it and learn it and use it, you'll still be in the minority. I mean, if 1 million people, which is a conservative estimate, buy the book, there's still billions and billions of men out there who are just sexually inept or painfully average. So there's lots of opportunities for the people who learn these techniques to go out and really have the lifestyle that they want. Now, I don't talk a lot about picking up women. There's a lot of people teaching some great PUA techniques and various schools. And I recommend you study them all, because each and every one is exceptionally good at a certain area or a certain environment. And you want to be as functional in all of them as you can, but you want to find the ones that work best for you. Think of it as, pick up Jeet Kune Do or something like that. But when it comes to day 2, when it comes to setting up systems where, a year later, I can pick up the phone at any given moment and be between someone's legs in 20 minutes. Or have them over here in 20 minutes, or say, hey, take me out to dinner.
It's like ordering a pizza.
It's literally like ordering a pizza. I have a woman taking me out to dinner tomorrow who also wants to set up my budget for me. I had to turn down a car from her the other day because she was actually getting ready to take out a loan to buy me a car. I do have limits.
Yeah, but this is the type of stuff that you condition women to do for you.
It becomes their own idea. It starts with little things. You actually condition them to start buying it, and you say, well, take me to a movie, or where are you taking me for dinner? Little innocuous things, and then you let them do it.
Mm-hmm. And I know that you saved the really evil conditioning stuff for your product.
Yeah.
Damn you! I wish you'd share that here. But we got to stop somewhere.
Okay.
Got to draw the line.
I'm actually doing. I'm doing the opening meditation to a symposium this weekend, and then I have to, as soon as I'm done there, I have to run and actually help do a hypnotic pain control.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, David, I would like to thank you very much for sharing a glimmer of your knowledge with me. And,
it was a pleasure.
And not only are you a master at sexual mastery, but you also have a lot of great stuff when it comes to beliefs, change work, mid to late game stuff. I mean, you're one of the most well-rounded seducers I've met.
Thank you.
And I'm sure in the future we'll be doing another interview very soon.
Look forward to it.